Good evening, everyone. I would like to call this evening's King's Board of Education work session and regular board meeting to order. Mr. Morrow, can you please call the roll?
Ms. Phillips,
Here.
Ms. Groff,
Here.
Ms. Cowan,
Here.
Mr. Belfrom, Mr. Skrull.
Here. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. May I have a motion to approve this evening's agenda?
I'll make that.
Mr. Morrow?
Ms. Groff,
Yes.
Ms. Phillips,
Yes.
Ms. Cowan,
Yes.
Mr. Skrull.
Yes. First item on our agenda this evening is reports and presentations. Mr. Sears, I'll hand it over to you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Skrull, and welcome everyone this evening. We are excited this evening to start off with some of our strategic initiative updates from our buildings. So if you recall, last year, we invited staff members from our buildings to just provide some update and some insight on what's happening in each one of our schools as far as how it relates to our strategic initiatives. And this evening, we're going to start off our series for it'll last the remainder of the year. Tonight, our junior high is here, so I'm going to ask Principal Eric Dunn and Assistant Principal Caleb Keaton to come up, and they're going to introduce some staff members and students that are here tonight to describe how they are living out the strategic initiatives from King's Junior High.
Great, thank you, Mr. Sears. Board of Education, I thank you for the opportunity. I'd love to talk about KJH and all the great things going on at the junior high, so I appreciate the time to do that tonight. We have a really cool class to introduce to you tonight. I'm going to say first and foremost.
No, you're good.
I take zero credit for anything you're about to see, and I mean that in the best way. Mr. McKinney and Mr. Keaton came to me late winter, early spring last year with this idea of a new sports management and business class. All I did was say yes, and they took off and did the rest. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Keaton, but they have envisioned from the ground up a really cool, interactive, engaging class for as a extra PE elective for our students. And it's turned into a really cool opportunity for our kids. So I'm going to let Mr. Keaton tell you all about it and then introduce Mr. McKinney.
Yes, thank you. Caleb Keaton, assistant principal at the junior high again. So as we were preparing for this school year and our record-breaking 7th grade class to come up and the enormous class number sizes and all those this sort of things, we were looking at some of our data with our electives and our requests for electives, and we noticed that we were having some classes that weren't requested as much as others, and we were trying to think of a creative way to expose our kids to some of those Power 5 skills. And one of the ideas that we came up with was this sports entrepreneurship or sports management and business class. Because as we know, a lot of 7th grade boys, I say we, because I think there's still hope for me to go pro. We think we're going to go pro when we become adults. And the cool idea behind this class is we are kind of exposing kids to a lot of careers that are connected to athletics and that sort of career path. And Mr. McKinney has really done an incredible job of taking this idea and just putting Power 5 skills all throughout it. And so we're really excited. Mr. McKinney, if you and the students want to come up and we'll kind of get the presentation started. But we're really excited for them to kind of share their experiences in just a semester so far. It is already now the most requested elective in the junior high by far. So really excited about that. So if you guys want to call them up.
All right, so as Mr. Keaton said, my name is Dylan McKinney. I teach the sports management and business class at the junior high. I gave all of you just like a little something that kind of sums up what the class is, but as Caleb said, it's like, hey, if you're not going to be the athlete and you love sports, like what other jobs and careers can you get into? At the beginning, I don't try to dash their dreams, but I show them the percentages of like actually making it pro. And I want them to try to make it pro, but if it doesn't work out and you love sports like I did, like what other stuff could you get into? And at the junior high, it's more so just trying to like get them excited about it. And then maybe in the high school, they can take a next level class. And then when they go to college, they're a step above their peers because they've already been there, done that. They know what they're interested in. As we see here, some of the things that we'll talk about in the class is like journalism, coaching, entrepreneurship, sports agency, general manager, sports marketing was a big one, and a lot of media and broadcasting stuff. That's just a few of the things that we go through. Just to give you an idea, like the demographics of the class, so far I have 4 bells a semester. This semester I have 83 students, a majority being 7th graders and a majority being male. So we really hit on the demographics that Mr. Keaton was really wanting to hit on. And the other thing that you could probably guess is that a majority of the students are athletes. So they kind of have that athletic background interest already. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to kind of step off the mic and invite some of the students up. It's going to be a little question and answer on some things that they've worked on this year, and some student work is going to be on the slides as well as we go through it. So Genevieve, why don't you step up here real quick? Let me introduce everybody first. Sorry. Genevieve Lake is here with us. We have Lucas Hogan, Maddie Sweeney, and Ellie Beckerly, right? So Genevieve, why don't you step up first? So Genevieve, I brought up something with the journalism class first. I introduced journalism and gave you guys an assignment. Can you talk a little bit about that assignment that
Yeah,
you guys were trying?
So for the journalism project, we watched a movie called Miracle, and it's about the 1980 US hockey team that like was the underdogs and came out and ended up winning, being like heavily unfavored. And then we also wrote an article about them, and the assignment was basically to like write our own paper about them. And you could kind of choose any like angle you wanted. He kind of left it pretty open, and yeah, we just used the stuff we had to write about their underdog story.
Did you feel like it was like an easy thing for you to do with the writing, or was it difficult to start? What was your favorite part?
I think I kind of like used the text mainly so I could like have text evidence used in mine. And I was just kind of looking at what it talked about the most. So like for me, I did like how all the players had different backgrounds and how that like overall like contributed to the team. So I just kind of looked at that because there was a lot of information on that, and that's how I kind of did mine.
So just a little journalism, something to get them started and take forward with them on the next level. So, Ellie, why don't you step up here? We did a really big coaching portfolio where they could kind of choose a team. I'll let Ellie kind of talk about it a little bit. This is just step 1 of many steps that they were putting into it. But why don't you talk about the coaching assignment that you got?
Yeah, so we kind of had a project where you got to choose like a team, any level, middle school, high school, college, professional, kind of like that. And you were the head coach of the team. We made a game day speech for your team. You did a practice plan. And you really had to think about like 3 like kind of like aspects or like attitudes you want like throughout your team. So maybe like all of them having respect, like being kind to each other. And then you also made like a slideshow about like the values you wanted through your team. And that was kind of it.
I actually brought Ellie's speech up. You don't have to talk about it, but it was one of the better ones that we went through. What was the situation here? You don't have to take us through the whole speech.
Yeah, so one of our players got really hurt, and she was one of the top players on the team. It was a semifinal game against a really good team, and we were kind of the underdogs here. I was really just trying to pep them up and get ready for a really hard game.
What team were you coaching?
UC volleyball.
Good. All right. Maddie, if you want to step up. So this is Maddie Sweeney. You do multiple sports as an athlete. How was the transition into like thinking from a coach's standpoint, from like an athlete standpoint?
Yeah, I didn't realize how much it goes into coaching. It makes me have a way bigger appreciation for my coaches and how much effort they put into it. I really enjoyed making a practice plan and using like all the steps it goes through to be a coach.
What would you like want to coach if you did? What sport?
So if I was a coach, I would want to coach high school lacrosse for girls. It's a sport I really enjoy too.
Good. Awesome. Thank you. Lucas, do you want to step up here? And we're going to talk about, we took a couple field trips this year, one being to the Dayton Drag Stadium, kind of switching gears here. That's a picture of us all out on the field. There's a couple videos there too. I'm not sure if we can play, if they'll play, if I just click.
We'll be playing our game live.
So that's just a quick clip there. You can see we had people walking us around, taking us to the facility and like what they do in each area, trying to spark some sort of interest with the kids. There's one more here. The kids were out on the field. They got a chance to kind of run the bases. Lucas, anything from the field trip that you can think of going up to Dayton?
Yeah, I think that it was a really fun opportunity to see a stadium first I've not many people have been to, and to see how everything is run for our average game day. Like in the press box, we got to see all the people that go into how the game gets broadcasted, how it goes on the radio, and scoreboard, all of that stuff.
Was it nice to just get out of the classroom too?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. We got to eat lunch up there. It was actually a really nice day, so everything worked out good. Awesome. Thanks, Lucas. Genevieve, do you want to step back up here? Another project that we worked on was called the Franchise Tracking Project. Talk us through what that project was, Genevieve.
Yeah, so that project is different from all our other ones because it's a semester long. You have a group like from the beginning, and then like my team, my group selected the franchise the Philadelphia Eagles because the Bengals were already taken. We kind of picked that because we wanted to look into like a successful franchise and kind of see like what goes into that. So, but you started off by kind of like looking into the background of them and just like having a good basis. So, and then you kind of went into like weekly updates. So that's an example.
This is one of, Genevieve's slides, just giving an update on like game performance and any other notes. But like right now, they are evaluating some recommendations. Do you have any like that you can think of that you were going to recommend for your final presentation for the Eagles?
A specific one is like Saquon Barkley, which I'm sure a lot of people know isn't having like a great season. So we kind of like compared his stats to another player's stats and then the salaries to kind of like back up our recommendation to lower his salary and just have that on our slide.
Yeah. I'm sure he would be okay with that. Yeah. Thanks, Genevieve. I did have one student who couldn't make it. Farzona is not here, but we did an assignment where we were a sports agent. This is her work up here. She chose to be the agent for Katie Ledecky, and their job was to research and try to find a good endorsement connection. So they had to find out about the athlete. She looked at Katie's background, what she was into, tried to make a good connection there, come up with a good contract, and then they had to present that to the class. Farzona was not able to make it tonight, though. Then we went into Lucas. Why don't you step back up for me, please? We recently did a sports entrepreneurship assignment, which led to kind of like a Shark Tank, if you've ever seen that show, kind of presentation in class. Talk us through what that presentation was all about, Lucas.
Okay, so we had to we had to kind of make an idea of a product that didn't exist that you could use for sports, and had to make a presentation for it. And this was my presentation, the
Smack and Sniff. What was Smack and Sniff, Lucas?
It was, if you guys know what a rosin bag that pitchers use, it was like that, and you could smack it on, equipment for sports or stuff that doesn't smell good. And our whole thing was that kids stink, and we needed to make them smell better.
We actually had some teachers come into the class during the presentations and give their input, and this was like one of the popular ones that they enjoyed, keeping this little bag in their equipment bag to help it smell good. You don't wash something, hurry up and smack it. And this was their little stay fresh, stay fierce. It was a good idea. A lot of parents liked it. A lot of teachers like it. So we might have something there. Maddie, why don't you talk about your entrepreneurship assignment here a little bit?
Yeah. So, me and my partner made like any kind of sports ball, and it has a like tracking ball, like a tracking in it, and you can get an app like on your phone, and it can have like you can get stars for like completing lessons of like basketball dribbling or anything like that, and you can get like people like on your app to like follow you, and then you can compete with them and like earn stars too.
It was a really good idea of like being able to play with your friends when they're not around, have a ranking with them. You love to compete, get stars, get better, get ranked. while getting exercise or improving your skills. So it was a really good idea. Thanks, Maddie. Lastly here, our big project that we've really gotten into is our Instagram account. If we can open that up. We decided to create a junior high athletics Instagram account and basically run it all in-house. So everything you see on this account is made by students. The only thing I am doing is posting it. So it's really, if you scroll up and we have like the definition or the idea of what the account is, it's like promoting all Kings Junior High athletics, run by Kings Junior High students, highlights, updates, school spirit. So like if you scroll back down, sorry, but you'll see, you know, game day. We had a game today. A student created that showing, you know, 7th grade plays at 4:30, 8th grade 5:30. We've had recaps. We had videos made. If we could click on a couple of the videos some of the students made, scroll down to, yeah, so the today video, that is Ellie. Ellie, if you'll come over here just real quick. She created this from scratch.
What's your favorite pregame warm-up? What's your name? I don't know. Flag football. You flag. Are you playing any other sports you're on with me? I'll be playing lacrosse. What does it mean to be a good teammate? A good teammate is one that pick you up and down and and help. I do play this season. I'd say I'm playing good, but I don't know my coach thinks.
All right, good. Ellie, anything to say about what I mean, I'm not sparking any of this. These are all ideas coming straight from the students.
Yeah. I got really inspired just from just the whole Instagram idea, of just kind of posting like what we kind of do in class, like other than just kind of like writing and typing and all of that, just kind of like a different kind of work. I got inspired kind of just by like our sports, and like I wanted to show like just some interviews and just kind of like ideas on like other videos. I really wanted to like grasp attention from like our followers, kind of like see my intro and just kind of want to like finish the video.
Good. Maddie, why don't you step up? Will you click the bottom video? This is one that Maddie produced.
Go far, KJ's Athletics on Instagram. You keep updated for all the Kings Junior High athletics.
And why did we come up with this video? What were you? Not
Okay,
me.
so I came up with this video because it was like when we were starting our Instagram account, and we were trying to get like more people to follow so they could see like all the games and come like cheer on like their like classmates and stuff. And yeah, we were just trying to get it all started.
And then what did that lead to? Yeah.
And then my uncle actually like bought like mics so you could hear like the interviews better.
So it's kind of sparking some stuff outside of the classroom, you know, that other people are noticing that we can take a little bit further. Good. If you go back to just the regular graphics, or no, back to the Instagram, sorry, but not the videos yet. So I won't go through all of them. Genevieve created a couple on there of just like weekly updates. Everybody's kind of had a hand in there. If you keep scrolling down, that what is a night? That was Farzona, who's not here. She took that all on herself to just come up with something a little bit different of kind of defining who a night should be, who our athletes should be. Once again, it's just a really good, you know, show of like what students are thinking in their heads and what they would like to do to support their classmates. None of this is coming from me. They'll bring me stuff. I'll ask them to edit it, but that's pretty much it. They're super creative. I tell them all the time what they're doing is beyond what I would be doing or thinking of. So good. Any last questions here? Any comments? Like, I know the main thing that we do want to say is like we would love a high school connector class that is doing some of these same things. Like we would love the junior high to be, hey, let's just plant the seed. They get into the high school where they can really develop some of these skills and continue to work with like the high school athletic department and, you know, get to games and film games, take pictures at games, produce stuff for media, continue to produce things for their peers. So that's the big feedback that I am getting so far. But that's it. Nice job, guys.
So real quick, just a reminder, this is a PE department elective. And the stuff speaks for itself, but I heard business, economics, media, marketing, statistics, research, reading, writing, all that wrapped up into a PE class, not to mention Power 5, all of it. So super, super proud of Mr. McKinney and Mr. Keaton for creating the class and the students as well for going all in. But again, we're just really, really proud of what's going on in KJH.
I have a quick question. So all these graphics that are showing up on the screen, those are student designed?
I don't touch any of that. I help them use, Sorry, we started out by using Canva primarily, just learning it throughout the start of the year. I showed them some examples online, and then they have just run with it. It'll just be like weekly. We have a little media session. They'll come up with new games, recaps. There's even like tryout information. We try to get people to come to the girls' basketball tryouts. Genevieve was the one who created that. Just really trying to expose, you know, the public to what's going on with our junior high sports and create some school spirit with all the kids.
Very, very impressive. Great work.
Any other?
Just want to say to all of the students, wow, you blew my socks off with your presentation. So great job.
Yeah, this is amazing. This is coming out of junior high. I mean, this is fantastic. So great job, guys. I cannot wait to keep watching. Is it just a semester class? Or are you taking it?
Yes, I'll unfortunately be losing a lot of these guys.
Well, you set the stage for next semester. I'm sure that's going to be very helpful. Great leaders.
I'll just add a couple things. First of all, I think I want to commend Mr. Dunn and Mr. Keaton because this, I think, is a great evidence of the power of yes, that you're challenged. And we love when our staff and students come and challenge us to do greater opportunities for kids. And I think this just speaks to everything we're trying to do at Kings. And you hearing it tonight is hearing it from our students. And so that's a theme the board and the community are going to hear throughout this year is we want student voice to be evident in everything we do. And I just think that this setup is a classic example of what we're trying to do in Kings with real world, authentic learning that where students can pursue areas of passion, interest, and learn in ways that are super fun and engaging. And just, we're so proud of you guys. Mr. McKinney, thanks for taking a risk. And to our principals for saying yes. So thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Let's keep the power of student voice rolling here to our Kings High School Raise presentation.
All right. Thank you so much for having us again. We are so excited to be back, and I'm going to hand it off to Derek and Maya.
Hello, good evening. I'm going to be starting us off with some of the recent art updates at Kings. So first up, we have our orchestra and our choir. These groups are working very hard for their upcoming holiday concerts, which are this week. The choir's is tonight. I think it's right after we speak at 7, and then the orchestra one is on Thursday. So all these groups would appreciate if you would come and show your support at their concert. Next up, we've got the band, which gave a concert in November featuring some of the music that they've been working on in preparation for their upcoming performance in January at the Ohio Music Education Association Professional Development Conference.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Jumping into our clubs, starting off with Friends Club. Friends Club stands for Friendship, Respect, Inclusion, Empathy, Networking, Diversity, and Support. This club meets monthly and they spend their time celebrating and enjoying friendships of all kinds. Some examples of this are games, interactive activities, and my personal favorite, dancing. Art and Kindness Club has recently just came up with a brilliant and creative idea, which is hand-making coloring books that are available for children at the King's Food Pantry. As much as I love German, we're going to focus on French this week. French Club recently held a holiday-themed meeting where they built and decorated gingerbread houses. They later posted on their Instagram account, allowing all students to judge and pick their favorite gingerbread house. Right now, as we speak, right around the corner at the high school, the Women in STEM Club are hosting their STEM Fair. This STEM Fair is student-led and student-created. Students have science activities of all sorts for all ages to explore and enjoy.
All right, thank you, Derek and Maya. Great job, as always. All right, starting strong with our athletics. Both our men's and women's teams won their first ECC match against Turpin, and our wrestling team won the team championship at the Taylor Invitational, along with 6 bronze medals and 2 gold medals. So super strong start to the season for both of these teams.
Our men's and women's basketball teams have also started their season. Our men with the most recent win over Western Hills, and our women with a win just last night over Turpin. And then our swimmers are also hard at work. They just had an invitational this past Saturday. They had a record number of qualifiers for finals on Saturday night. So we are super excited to see what they have in store this season.
All right, congratulations to our 4 seniors who signed this past Thursday to continue their athletic and academic success. We have Tyler Griffiths for baseball and Julia Lowry, Neely McElhaney, and Grace Parkers, all for softball. So we're super proud of our peers, and I'm super proud of my teammates.
And then moving into our academics, for the first time ever, National Art Society and Spanish National Honor Society teamed up to host a community art event. This consisted of Spanish-style painting, Shrinky Dinks, and Alebrije lizards. This was a huge success, and we are super happy to continue this partnership.
All right, at our last meeting, our National Honor Society borrowed over 200 drink sleeves from the Kings Mill Starbucks. We got to decorate them with Kings and holiday spirit, and then we returned them for the Starbucks to give out to spread cheer throughout the community.
And then a huge congratulations to junior Emmaus Adamson, who was recently recognized as Rotary's Royalty Student. Mr. Hoying nominated him and said he had some great communication skills, selflessness, and strong work ethic. So a big congratulations to Emmaus.
All right, heading into service. 3 seniors, Bryce Campbell, Audrey Spring, and Landon Clark, collected 174 meals for the Joshua's Place Thanksgiving food drive in their neighborhood, and they actually set a record for this cause.
And then the King's Holiday Help Organization is a program designed to connect our community with students who need holiday assistance. So Spanish National Honor Society adopted 2 families for Christmas and raised over $400 to buy gifts for 4 students. Taylor and I had the opportunity to go shop for 2 of them this past weekend, and it was super great to have the opportunity to give back to our community and spread some holiday cheer.
All right, so leading up to exams, students at the high school are participating in a holiday-themed Spirit Week, as you can see in our graphic here. So as we know, this can be a stressful time before midterms. So students have also been participating in games like Gratitude Tennis that highlight the sources of strength wheel.
And NHS is hosting their annual Ronald McDonald House of Cincinnati supply drive. So second bells are all competing to see who can raise the most donations, and the winner gets a donut party. They were super grateful for everything we were able to donate last year, so we are excited to partner with them again and give back to this great organization.
All right, heading into our student spotlight for this month, junior Lexi Barnes took it upon herself to run a community food drive leading up to Thanksgiving. She promoted the drive, collected items, and donated them to local pantries. And we're so proud of Lexi and thankful for her selflessness this holiday season.
All right, and then that is all we have for you guys tonight. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next year.
Thank you.
What a great way to kick off the meeting.
We can go home.
So next up, we're going to move into a presentation by HGC, our general contractor here for our high school project. So I'm going to welcome Bill Bromback and Dave Byersdorfer. You're not speaking tonight, Dave? Okay, I just wanted to say your name publicly. Thank you. Welcome, Bill, to kind of walk through kind of where we are in the process and update you on the latest GMP that the board will approve a little bit later this evening.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me tonight. This is going to be a tough act to follow here. So maybe the next one we can hire them to present. So it comes off a lot better. First, just kind of a high level, we're going to go over the current project that we have ongoing. We're going to talk about GMP 7 and then kind of things that are going to be future down the road. So just high level high school project update. Last week we talked last month about pouring the concrete core. That's going to top out to the top of the building. So when you go over to the site now, you'll be able to kind of see the mass of the height of the building over there. So when you're kind of looking over there, that's a great milestone for us to complete the first one out of 4 that we have to do. And that's the biggest one that's on the job. We started masonry at the arena side of the building. So as we discussed last board meeting, that was one of our critical subcontractors that we needed to move forward. So that was 3 or 4 weeks ago, and they've already mobilized, and the first masonry foundation walls have started as of today. So another great win and a milestone for us to celebrate on. We are still on schedule for the first area of structural steel to start in January. So we are on schedule there and still pushing forward, and you're going to start to see things change in the next month to 2 months of kind of what the shape of the building is, kind of defining the footprint, and really be able to see the different areas that we have out there. Going high level and saying that on the academic wing of the building, we've already completed about 50% of our exterior foundation walls. So they are pouring footers and concrete every day and kind of making that footprint all the way around the building. And then the last area that we'll actually accomplish is the auditorium and the music wing. So that's kind of our staging area, and that's the last area we go to. So our sub has made great progress on the foundation package that was released a while back. And as they go around the building, you'll start to see more and more concrete cores come out of the ground, and those are going to be defined as all the stair shafts to take you up to the 3rd floor of the building. All work is on schedule, and we're very satisfied with the outcomes to date. And it kind of leads us into the tonight's presentation. So tonight's presentation is the final GMP, the final contract for the high school building. We have been working for a very long time to get to this point, and there's a bunch of people to thank, and I do want to thank them tonight. So Mr. Sears, Mr. Lucky, MCS, our team, Dave, Holly and her team, and SHP. It was a true teamwork effort to get to this point. A lot of hours, a lot of hard conversations, but it all paid off to where we're sitting here tonight and kind of can really report good outcomes. Tonight I'm happy to present, we kind of give you a heads up at the last board meeting that we were under budget. I'm happy to present that we are under budget by $3.5 million. So that can be used for other things in the programs to kind of move forward for what they have. So to date, all contracts pending the approval of this one tonight will be rated at $104 million. And that's going to complete and it'll be the final one for the physical high school construction project. We received a bunch of great bidding responses from the subcontractor market. Very proud and excited with the high-level subs that we are getting to use on this job and that brought great value to accomplishing that $3.5 million under budget. It takes great partners for us to build things. We don't physically build them ourselves, and the partnerships that we've created over the years that we brought to the table are going to be great for the success of this project. Project is well on its way, as we discussed before. And then 24 months from this month, December of 27 is the planned turnover for the high school building. So December of 2027. So we're excited to get to the next steps. Until we get all of our team involved, this is establishing the rest of our team members that we need on the job. So now we can really start to plan, execute. We've been bringing pieces at a time just to get to this point, but with all the team members involved in the job, this is where we start to really move the project forward. We talked about the last GMP for the building, which this is the high school building. There will be a future GMP for athletics that will come at a later date. We're still working on that, but sounds like we're getting very close to kind of moving it from the second step of estimating to taking those documents to construction documents, and that's what the SHP and the rest of the team will be working on. So very excited to stand up here today. It has truly taken a lot of hours, a lot of work to get to this point, and I feel that what we have put in got us to where we're at today, and kind of very excited about that. So any questions about the high school GMP or progress or anything?
I have a question. I want you to dig in the weeds just a little bit.
Okay.
Don't take us too deep, please. But on the GMP 07 form, I saw at the top it says revisions. And one caught my eye, the partial foundation for areas A, C, and D. What does that really mean? The
So-
revisions and your part in.
So-
making that happen.
So revisions to A, B, and C. I'm not 100% sure about Dave. Can you help me with that statement? You put that form together. So help me out with this one, and then we can answer together. How about that?
So when we initially present these GMPs, we offer them up. They're not quite in draft form, but they certainly require a lot of input back from ownership, from MCS, from the design team. And so those GMPs include a variety of documents, including a full construction schedule. It'll be a staffing report. It'll be the dollars and cents of the budget and estimate. And so there's clarifications and assumptions on how we bid those things, some of the very specific language of how we interpreted some of the contract drawings. And so everyone gets a chance to review them, from ownership to the design architect to MCS, and they offer some feedback, and then we make some adjustments. And so often these GMPs are revised, and that's what you ended up looking at, was one revision of the GMP that was submitted last week. We took in count of everybody's input and made some revisions to make sure everybody was aligned on what we're trying to do.
Yeah, it does take a lot of revisions to get from point A. So now I'm clarifying what that is. So it is to make sure everybody's aligned, that if there is a comment or if there is something that needs to be changed, that we are marking it up so they know that, yes, we talked about that. And then once we move it to the next revision, that makes it kind of a tracking process to make sure that we're all aligned. When you kind of submit the same documents over again and you're just assuming people make the updates, and then that allows us to kind of track it through a process.
So I know we're in the cold weather where we could have potential delays.
Yep.
At what point will we be fully enclosed where weather won't slow us down?
So we call that critical path work. So critical path work is kind of the longest duration of the project. Critical path will go all the way until we get building enclosure, which we are expecting building enclosure to be right around this time next year. So when critical path shifts to the inside of the building, weather is less of a concern. But as we sit here today and going all the way through, call it December of 26, weather is a factor. We do have weather days built into our schedule. There's a set amount of weather days that helps to mitigate that. That doesn't mean that that is rocket science in the way it's going to be, but we have so many days built in for weather that we will be managing and tracking and making up. But if we have some outside the norms situation, then weather could be a factor. But about a year from now is when critical path actually moves to the inside of the building. And then we will probably sit stagnant through the winter of next year. And then we will kick up, or the following year, and kick up the site work in the spring of 2027 to execute towards the end. So kind of a high level look of what to expect for our kind of the next 12 months. And as we give more and more updates to the board, we'll be kind of transitioning into what you're actually seeing out there. moving kind of away from the contracting side that we've been doing to date, but you'll be seeing more and more progress and talking about specifically those types of things or any issues that we may or may not see.
Just say for one more time for me, Bill, how much we came in under budget. Just say it for me once more.
$3.5 million.
Thank you.
Yep. So.
Nice.
Great.
Thank you.
Yep, I appreciate it. Thank you.
So we go, I just want to all publicly thank Bill and Dave with their work at HGC. There's been a lot of work to get to this point. It's fun to see things come out of the ground, but there's so much behind the scenes. These guys have worked so hard to get subcontractors in, get estimates done, things that we've asked them to do because we're very budget conscious. And I think they've delivered on everything we've asked the whole way so far. We're excited about the future project and everything that's moving forward, but been very good partnership. Appreciate their work. It's not always easy. It's not always fun, but when we walk out, we're delivering, I think, a very good product for our community that's going to last decades and do great work for kids. And you guys should feel good about that. Holly's with us every step of the way from MCS. It's a milestone moment for us tonight, but we appreciate the work that Holly does to provide guidance. Mike is all over the money on this. And so the board and the community should feel really, really, really confident in the treasurer of Kings Local Schools to be able to maintain, watch every dollar coming in and out of this place. And he's just doing an excellent job kind of managing all of that, keeping us all in line and grounded and in support on what we can and can't do. But Matt's doing a lot of this work. He's got one job to do, and then now there's another job on top of this, and he just does an excellent job. We're fortunate. We're fortunate for him. We're fortunate for this entire team. Folks next to me, Dana and Matt, been involved in heavy design conversations. So it's a great moment so far. We're looking forward to the completion, the continued progress. But as somebody who sits in my seat, I'm really proud of the team and the effort and the work and the collaboration and the partnership. And I'd be remiss not to mention this HP too. They're hours upon hours. We're going to have releasing some renderings here soon from updated things that they've got together. They're putting together for us. So we'll start to celebrate more of the final design as we move forward. But appreciate all you guys. Appreciate you coming out to do this, and looking forward to the future progress.
Thank you, guys.
And our last presentation tonight, I'll turn it over to Mr. Freeman.
Well, the group is coming up here. I just want to say it many times, you hear me talk about highlights and things happening in teaching and learning. A lot of this work is completed by this group of individuals kind of leading a charge around instructional progress that we're making. So we asked them to come tonight to give some highlights of things happening in their world. You can hear from their lens, and if you have any questions, they're happy to answer those. So I'll go ahead and turn it over. Here's the clicker. Who would like the clicker? Thank you.
Chris Chamberlain. I am the Instructional Technology Support Specialist. I had to put it on the slide because I always mess it up. I try to be the bridge between the technology department and the curriculum department. I actually have a desk in both the technology room and the coach's office where these ladies work, and try and support both departments to the best of my ability. As far as technology, help manage the over 4,000 Chromebooks we have in the district, manage the 300-ish iPads that are used primarily by the special education department, and then also about 100 Fire tablets, which we purchased over the last couple of years as translating devices for our ELL students. As far as supporting the curriculum side, I spend a lot of time building spreadsheets and uploading into state testing reporting systems and things. So when teachers give those benchmarks or checkpoints or the state test, they have their results right at their fingertips. So that's kind of some of the data stuff that I help out with. And then over the last year, if you remember, we had an AI cohort of 30 teachers across the district. So we learned about AI over the summer. We decided the best tool for our use case now would be Magic School AI. So that is what we selected, and we've been doing trainings and trying to support teachers with that as well. You can see on the graph up there, 334 teachers have logged in. There's been over 4,000, almost 5,000 interactions. So teachers are using it. And on our October PD day, I challenged the teachers that I saw to not only use it to help them, but to have the students use it as well by Christmas break. So I'll be interested to see how students are getting exposed to it in the upcoming new year. Up next, we have Andrea Nichols, our 7 through 12 instruction coach.
I can't be in charge of that and talk at the same time. We wanted to give a quick reminder of what coaching is in Kings. It's job embedded professional development with teachers who willingly engage in feedback. Our goal is to live out the culture blueprint so that teachers like Mr. McKinney can create what is happening in his classroom, because that's the dream, right? Those experiences for students. So we're trying to elevate student achievement. We're encouraging professional growth, and we're trying to cultivate collaboration and learning communities amongst teachers. So Aaron's going to talk a little bit about how we're doing that in math this year. Take this out.
Okay, there we go. That's better. Okay, so we are working with grades 3 through high school on some math work this year, and we're basing it off of the Ohio plan for K-12 mathematics. So why did Ohio need a plan? There's some bullets up there. I'll just name a couple of them. So our math performance in K-12 overall has declined in the past decade. That's a big reason. So in the year 23-24, a little over 50% grades 3 through 8 achieved proficiency. So that means almost half of 3rd through 8th graders were not proficient in math. So we're like, we need to do something about this. So, Ohio's vision. So to empower students with the confidence and ability to apply mathematics concepts, procedures, and reasoning, enabling students to thrive in a variety of contexts, life experiences, and career pathways. So this is our what's guiding us to do the work that we are doing this year with that team. So our 2 main things that we're looking at is our effective math teaching practices. Those are what the teachers are doing, what we want them to focus on as they plan and implement our good math lessons. So some of the keys to that are just setting goals, thinking about reasoning and problem solving, presenting good problems that can do that, using representations and tools that can help kids think about math, the representations, discourse, how are they talking about math, the questions that we ask as teachers will help kids talk about the math, have good conversations about that. And then really thinking about conceptual understanding, not jumping right to the procedures and the algorithms, but thinking about the why behind what we're doing to get there. Productive struggle, letting kids, struggle a little bit before we jump in to help them. When we do that, they grow so much more than if we just say, well, let me jump in and tell you the answer. So letting them think about it. And then just student thinking. So knowing what your students are thinking ahead of time, knowing what they're thinking in the moment, and just planning from there. What am I going to do next based on what they're thinking right now? So that's the teacher side. And then the student side, we base it on the standards for mathematical practices, which is the same practices from kindergarten through 12th grade. So this is our commonality in math. So we want them to think about persevering, making sense of problems, reasoning with problems, how they can have arguments and critique the reasoning of others, modeling with math, using tools, attending to precision. So looking at all of those, is my answer right? Being able to explain why. make use of structure and then repeated reasoning. So looking for math is based on that reasoning and structure. So looking at that. And then all of this is tied up with our two big strategic initiatives, which is Power 5 and personalized learning. So if we are structuring, did I skip a slide or was that? Oh, okay. So if we are doing all the things we want to do in our math classroom, we're automatically doing these Power 5 future skills. Our kids are going to leave with all of these. Teachers realized from our first meeting, oh, these standards for mathematical practices, these are Power 5. They're one and the same. So we've been doing these things in math for a long time. And then personalized learning, once we get really good at doing all these things, personalized learning is going to be our next natural step. And some of the things that we're doing, they might not be calling it personalized learning right now, but that's happening in the classroom. All of that led to what we want for our all of our King's mathematicians. So the teachers came up with this list of all the things, if anyone walks into a math classroom at any point, these are the things that they're going to be seeing from our learners. We really want to create this culture of a love for math for all of our King's students.
All right. Oh yeah, I'm Tracy Kleist, literacy instructional coach. Thanks for that reminder. And we have a lot going on at the moment in language arts. We are in the full year of Wit and Wisdom curriculum implementation. So we are doing a lot of learning, professional development with teachers. I'm also in classrooms, modeling lessons, planning with teachers. They were all trained before school in August, and then Great Minds sent someone out also in October, and then again in February for some continued learning around the program. We also have check-in days, grade level check-ins with all of the teachers. We had one in September, I believe it was. We have one Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So all teachers, kindergarten through 5th grade, will be over here collaborating. We talk about celebrations, what we've seen from the program. They're bringing some writing samples of the students so we can compare to previous years. What learning do we see evident? What scaffolds do we maybe need? What enrichments do we need? Although it's a pretty high ceiling program, some students still may need some enrichment opportunities. We talk about research-based practices that are found in the program because there's continuous research on the best way to teach reading and writing. If we all had the right answer, we would all be doing that. So we keep up with all the current research and do some learning on those days that they come. And how do you see that in practice in the program? And what can we also do in our classrooms for that? In this program, there are comprehension strategies, writing, fluency, grammar, vocabulary, and it's all in context of the program. We also are going to be doing some training for the principals, and it's some guided observations for leaders. So what should they see? Some look-fors in their classroom. What does it look like if they're using the curriculum? Student-centered instruction, what should that look like? Gathering and using evidence, and then student engagement. And then I'm going to pass it over to, what am I going to do? Oh, yeah. I have basketball pickup in like 5 minutes, so I'm trying to like hurry, sorry. We also are in our new teacher academy. Teachers are coming over, all new teachers for some learning. We gave them this educator's field book guide. So what should they expect in their first years? It goes through all the stages and all the feelings they might experience during their first year. The goal of the program is to build confidence and effectiveness in instructional practices. We problem shoot some things that come up. How can they create learning opportunities around those struggles that they might be having? And we're really just there as a support for all of those new teachers in their first year and teaching them the King's way, like all of our culture blueprints, our Power 5, so they're familiar with what they should be doing and what we are at King's. Right. So I don't need to read. It was good to see you all. Gotta go. Bye.
Thanks, Tracy. We are also continuing our involvement in district-wide PD, and I took last year's work with the content literacy piece in our social studies and science classes and continued that this year. Last year, we focused on reading strategies. This year, we're focusing on writing strategies. And in October, we spent quite a bit of time talking about strategies to help students write to learn and not just sit there passively and take notes. So we actually borrowed from the math world some building thinking classroom strategies to show teachers how to get students up and talking in conversations and moving around and sharing their writing to learn with each other. So we're building on those Power 5 skills also. We also are continuing our work with having students write arguments in science and social studies so that they're writing claims with evidence and reasoning, because the language arts teachers really need support and help with that. So we want that to be kind of a cross-curricular initiative as well. The fine arts folks and the PE folks and the STEAM folks were not left out of literacy. We talked a lot about speaking and listening strategies, and you saw that come to life in Mr. McKinney's class. Because of all of the data work that Chris does, we are able to make better decisions about what to focus on in PD. We invited the Ohio Writing Project back to work with our 6 through 12 language arts teachers. And the plan for that came because we really took a deep dive into our data from OST scores last spring. We realized that elaboration is a really hard skill for kids to master in their writing. And so Beth Reimer from the Ohio Writing Project focused on that one particular skill, talked about some strategies, talked about how to continue to use student writing as data in their classroom. This also opens up the possibility for some coaching conversations from October all the way to February, because she's coming back. And so we wanted our teachers to practice these elaboration strategies because they're high leverage, and we're hoping to see some gains in our writing scores on the OST this year. And then finally, we're continuing to move the train of personalized learning along in the district. We have a book study going this year. We have 22 teachers from the junior high and high school who volunteered to be part of the Empower book study. Our launch team from 2 years ago learned a little bit of the strategies in this book by John Spencer. And so it's just a really good starting place for teachers who've never thought about personalized learning and just want to kind of dip their toe in and get sort of a foundation level for personalized learning. We're really encouraging the teachers in this group to just make some micro changes in their classroom between each meeting. We've been meeting once a month to talk about the chapters in the book. Our plan for next semester is to continue to meet once a month with just a workshop open house style. Like, what did you try? How did it go? Where do we go from here? How can we support each other? What is it looking like? What big questions and confusions do we still have? And so we're going to support teachers that way. And then hopefully build off of that with some coaching cycles that are specifically about implementing personalized learning in the classroom. And continuing into the rest of the year and hopefully beyond.
Yes. So we plan to continue New Teacher Academy. We feel like that's really important for our newest educators. We want them to stick around and stay here. And we know that a lot of teachers leave within the first year or the first 5 years of the profession. So our goal is to get them to stick around and to grow them early. We're going to grow personalized learning. You just heard Andrew talking a little bit about that. So a lot of the personalized learning is happening in the buildings now. So we're there to support that. We continue the 3 to 12 math work, but also folding in that K2 math, because we know that's the foundation. We didn't start with them this year because they were implementing that new literacy program. We didn't want to overload them, but we know that it's really important. So folding them into the mix, continuing to support the ELA implementation process. we don't want to say, here's a new program, I'll give you support the first year and then kind of back off. We know they're going to need that continued support, so we're going to be there for them for that. Content area literacy is something we're going to continue to talk about and build, especially in our PD days. Book studies, that's a real easy way to get everyone involved. The data meetings we're going to continue. And then all of these things we're putting into place. We hope to do coaching cycles specifically, like around personalized learning, around when we go into math classrooms, what goal? Like today you see some things around the room that we did in math with our math group today, and we had them set a goal. So we wanted them to take that goal and we asked them, how can coaches help support that? We know professional learning isn't enough without that continued coaching support. So that's why we're here to make sure things keep happening at a district level. That is all we have.
I just want to add one thing. So the work that we saw from our students today, that is the kind of experience that we want to develop in every single classroom. This group, all of these folks work to help support the building blocks of the instructional pieces that teachers select to kind of help make that happen in the classroom. So I'm just really proud of the group and all the work that they do. We have a great teaching staff. This room was abuzz all day today from 8 until 3 o'clock, talking math, kind of rethinking what this math instruction of the future needs to look like. It looks different now, and students are different now. The world is different now than when some of us in this room learned with an overhead projector, memorizing steps and facts. So we need to challenge kids beyond that. And so we have some great examples. Teachers are really making intentional, strategic choices of what they want to expect of their students. So just really proud of all the work we're doing, and appreciate your support of this team and giving us an opportunity to share. So thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right, it's going to be tough to follow up those presentations, but we have to do it. So next item on our agenda is public participation. Seeing we have none this evening, we will move on to discussion items from the treasurer. Mr. Morrow.
Thank you very much. So items 1 and 2 are the typical meeting minutes from the prior month. Item 3 is financial items, and you'll see the first attachment on the financial items is a budget to actual for the year to date. Revenues very close in line with where we thought they would be, with the addition of the income tax causing some variance. And then expenses also look great. We're within 1% of where we thought we would be as we continue to update the budget versus actual. And we're 1% to the good rather than 1% to the bad. So feel really good about where we're at with that. Does the board have any questions about any of those documents?
I did have a couple of questions on the monthly financials.
Yep.
And there's the disclaimer there that they can vary month over month.
Yeah.
But one thing jumped out to me on the revenues. We're down 1.6 million over last year, and in the notes it says it mentions the homestead and rollback. Can you explain that in the state reimbursement, how that's driving it down year over year?
Yep, great question. So pages 2 through 5 essentially are comparing month to month financials with the prior year. It's really a guide to help figure out, did something get posted wrong? Are we missing something? Or should we be on the lookout for something? So what you're referring to is the state reimbursement for some property taxes, and we actually received it a month earlier this year than last. So last year we were up, or last month we were up compared to prior year, and this month we're low. So just a timing variance, and as it said, a lot of times with these month to month, it is just timing. We plan for it to happen at some point within the year. It just maybe even 2 days will change from month to month.
And is that the same then on the expenditures were higher in other benefits?
Yep, exact same thing. So in other benefits, every year we have to post and pay an amount to the school employees retirement system. It's kind of a catch up for employees that don't earn a certain level. We have to basically pay a little extra to the retirement system. Last year it was posted in November. This year it'll be posted in December. So just the timing. I'll say when it's great to have questions and some dialogue about this. When I'm looking at kind of in granular detail, I'm looking at those month to month to make sure we don't miss something. But the final page of the document gives a good kind of summary of it, eliminates some of those timing issues and says, where are we going to be on June 30th? So great questions. Thank you.
Are there any other questions from the board? May I have a motion to approve the discussion items for the treasurer?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Morrow?
Mr. Belfrom?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Cowan?
Yes.
Ms. Groff? Mr. Skrull?
Yes. Next item on our agenda this evening are discussion items for the superintendent. Mr. Sears, I'll hand it to you.
Yes, thank you. 3 trip approvals this evening. The first one is the dance team attending the national dance competition in Orlando, Florida in February. The second one is the Firecrackers attending a performance in Annapolis, Maryland in January also. And then also the Firecrackers will be attending a trip to Indianapolis. I think that is at the Atlanta Hawks versus Indiana Pacers game at halftime there. So 3 trip approvals this evening.
May I have a motion to approve these items?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Morrow?
Ms. Cowan?
Yes.
Ms. Groff?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Belfrom?
Yes.
Mr. Skrull?
Yes. Moving along, next discussion item is Assistant Superintendent HR Business. Mr. Spinner?
Thank you, President Skrull, Kings Board of Education. A few items under our agenda this evening. First up, personnel agenda. Rather lean at this time of year, which is fairly normal. As we get into the new year and we start to look at hiring season, this will definitely heat up. But there is one area I would like to point out, and that is under supplemental and stipends. We continue to strengthen our partnerships with colleges. A few of our staff members are even serving as university-funded mentors on tonight's personnel agenda. Additionally, SLE Principal Belinda Atkins serves as a clinical supervisor for a teacher in her building, completing their master's degree, providing instructional feedback and reflective support and required documentation outside of school hours. So I know that's somewhat abnormal, but that is a clinical supervisor position through the Western Governors University. And she is working closely with a teacher in her building as they work through their master's in education. Mr. Lucky will review the following items.
Thank you, Mr. Spinner. Couple items that are pretty normal yearly. The nutrition compliance report. There's no changes to that report. It's been the same for a few years now. Just something that the board needs to vote on. And the bus stops is a yearly. I apologize for the crick in your neck to go through all 8 million pages sideways. We did all we could to get that thing flipped, but it beat us. But that's a standard operating board approval on a yearly basis. And then number 4 is the GMP number 7 for the new high school. Just to reiterate quickly how thankful we are for the efforts of the team that we have. We're all super excited to take on this challenge together and get this building done in 2 years. And it's going to take all of us in this room to get that done from a communication standpoint and working together through the opportunities it's going to present. So I do appreciate everybody's effort to get us to where we are. It's exciting.
By us approving this GMP, that's going to be holding us to that savings, the budget. What did we say? Coming in under budget. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do we have?
I just had a quick question, Mr. Lucky, with the bus stops. Is that I couldn't find last year's? Is that total number of stops about the same? Are we seeing more or less or
Less.
less?
But
Okay.
less. The team down there did a great job consolidating where they could, and keeping our students and our community, safety and all that in mind.
Perfect. Thank you.
How are we as far as staffing? And I noticed there was an advertisement for cooks and things like how are we staffing wise?
You see on our personnel, we just found our new head cook for South Lebanon Elementary, which is very exciting. We have 2 openings currently for cook cashier positions. Those can be tough to find just because it takes a special individual to get in there for 2 to 3 hour position in the middle of the day. So I appreciate you bringing that up, and everybody in YouTube land.
Yeah, here's a shameless plug too.
Please,
Looking for a part-time
please,
job that doesn't interfere
looking,
with kids after school. It's like it's a great timing.
possibly do childcare, food service, or driving a bus. We're always open. So thank you.
Do we have any other questions for Mr. Spinner or Mr. Lucky? All right, may I have a motion to approve the discussion items, Assistant Superintendent HR Business?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Morrow?
Mr. Belfrom,
Yes.
Ms. Groff,
Yes.
Ms. Phillips, Ms. Callan,
Yes.
Mr. Skrull.
Yes. Next item on our agenda, we have discussion items, Assistant Superintendent Education.
Learning does not have anything to approve tonight. Wanted to just quickly talk about the presentation from the junior high that you heard tonight. Right, this summer when we met with the administrators and we talked about our objectives and goals from the building and administrators, we all agreed on that we wanted it to be student voice this year around Power 5 and personalized learning. So you got to see that tonight. So they set the bar high for January. But as you'll see a theme that every report or every presentation you see will be around student voice with Power 5. That's what we all decided this summer as we worked together that we wanted to bring to the board. So they knocked it out of the park tonight. We'll see how next month goes. Do we know who's in January? Columbia will be here next. And they signed up first to junior high. They were all right then and there. We have some that want to wait to the end of the year because they're doing a whole student year project. So we're excited to bring them to you. So thanks for listening. More to come.
Thank you for that update. So next item we have on the agenda is items presented by the board. We have a few items on here this evening. We will need to set, number 1, our organizational meeting. Any thoughts on when we want to do that? It needs to be done before January 15th of next year.
I'll add that January 13th follows the normal second Tuesday of the month. So that fits in. Just wanted to make that point.
I was going to suggest that as well. Yeah.
Are we all good with January 13th? Okay.
At 6 p.m., correct?
6 p.m., yes.
Okay. Thank you.
And along those same lines, next item is our 2026 board meeting schedule discussion. We have been meeting Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Are we good to follow the same schedule that we had this past year?
I am. So second and third Tuesdays of the month. 6
Correct.
p.m.
Okay.
Okay.
Still looking to do one in July and December. Or was it June we do one meeting? It's July, right? Where we just do one?
I think July.
I thought it was July, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Yep. Or combine the meetings rather. I should.
Correct.
Yeah.
I will make a draft meeting schedule and send it to the board to make sure that no one has anything they'd like to see differently as far as any dates that may need change for whatever reason with notes.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask, is there any sort of need for some sort of cadence to handle request from HGC, or is that we can just roll that in as needed to our regular meetings, right?
We've tried to warp their schedules around the board schedules.
Gotcha.
And they've done a great job at that, I will say. So if something,
All right.
they've done great. if something does come up, we'll try to make sure the board is well aware ahead of time and try to work around your schedules. But
Okay.
the big ones are done at this
Right.
point. So yeah, feel good.
Thank you, Mr. Morrow.
Okay, next item number 3 is we need to set a president pro tempore for the organizational meeting on the 13th. Is this one we need to take a nominee or just a volunteer?
Just a volunteer, just to open the organizational meeting.
Would anyone like to do that?
I'll do it.
Thank you, Mr. Belfort.
You're welcome.
All right, and then our 4th item here is we need to appoint a board member to the Warren County Career Center Board. At this point, we will take any nominations we may have.
I'd like to nominate John Skirl.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Phillips. And it's no stranger. I've no secret. I've talked about doing this in the past, so thank you. I appreciate you and all the years you've served doing that as well. I've got some big shoes to fill.
I'd like to second John. I know you have a passion for the Career Center. And yes, and Peggy, you have been amazing to do this for as many years as how many?
7.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing that.
I'll set up some time for us to talk through it. So
I've got it.
sure you do. Okay, so seeing that we've had those, would that be considered our motion or do I need
I
to?
would ask for a formal motion for those items.
Okay.
Thank you.
May I have a motion to approve the items presented by the board?
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Morrow?
Mr. Belfrom,
Yes.
Ms. Phillips,
Yes.
Ms. Cowan,
Yes.
Ms. Groff,
Yes.
Mr. Skrull.
I'll be abstaining from this vote. Next item we have on our agenda is executive session. We are about to enter into executive session for the following purpose: to consider employment and compensation of a public employee or official. May I have a motion to enter into executive session?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Morrow?
Ms. Groff,
Yes.
Mr. Belfrom,
Yes.
Ms. Phillips,
Yes.
Ms. Cowan,
Yes.
Mr. Skrull.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Please note that once we get out of executive session, we will adjourn.
But we will have a records commission.
Yes.